is up, my friends? How are you guys doing today? I hope everybody's having a great day. This is kind of like an impromptu review. I had one already lined up. I had another review in the pipe ready to fire off to you guys. But last night, I got to watch one of my most anticipated films of this year. You guys know that I am a huge Predator fan. Probably one of my number one movie of all time. It's interchangeable with Aliens and Gladiator, man. I mean, it is like, Predator is my jam, right? I love Predator, as you can tell by that guy right there. I got to see the new Predator anthology film, Killer of Killers, last night. I thought it would be coming out today, but guys, it dropped last night on Hulu and Disney Plus, and I said, you know what? It's midnight. I don't care. I got nothing to do tomorrow. So, boom, me and my boy, we sat down, turned it on, and guys, it did not disappoint. This is directed by Trachtenberg, same guy who directed Prey. Okay, if you guys haven't seen Prey, it's streaming over on Hulu, and it's about Naru and her combat experience with the galaxy's most deadliest hunter, right? You know what? I'd like to see Boba Fett and the Predator tangle with each other. Disney, make it happen. You own both of them. But anyway, guys, before we dive headlong into this sucker, hit that like and subscribe button. Man, all right, let's bring it down. Let's talk about it and not get it too excited, man. So, this came out last night. This is an anthology story, guys, set in the Predator universe. And, you know, like all anthology stories, there's always an underlying theme or an underlying story besides just the stories that are being told. There's always something else going on kind of behind the scenes, right? And so this is no different. And I was actually wondering how they were going to do this when I saw that it was going to be an anthology film, because any good anthology film has that underlying main plot from the stories that are being told. So, I was impressed with how they did this. I'm not going to tell you, because that would ruin things, but I was impressed with how they did that. Now, if you guys are as big of fans as I am, some of you may be, some of you may not be, this hit all the right nerd buttons for me, because it felt like almost like a novelization of If It Bleeds, Predator If It Bleeds. That is a novel of short stories set in the Predator universe where the Predators hunt, different species, humans, xenomorphs, different alien creatures that they see as worthy prey. And so that novel really was kind of a high point when it came out for me, as far as diving into the Predator universe. This does the same thing. Not only do we get 3 really cool separate stories, but then we get more detailed lore and mythos injected into the Predator franchise. We get a passage of, we'll call it scripture, a passage of scripture at the beginning of the film that's from the Yautja. Yautja's the, I guess, scientific name for the Predators, which is from the Yautja canon or whatever, from their Bible, I guess. And it says, go out into the universe and hunt these deadly hunters, these deadly killers, make them your trophies and become killer of killers. That is so dope, man. That is so cool. And I love that they had that at the beginning. That kind of sets the tone for the film. Dug it. Then we get to see our different, there's another new Predator film coming out later this year called Badlands. And in my opinion, I think it's going to start the AVP franchise over again, but that's just me, because it's got Weyland-Yutani people in it. But that's beside the point. It's called Badlands, and people were kind of upset because the Predator looked like human-sized. He looked kind of like a person. Well, that's the point. He's supposed to be an adolescent. He's supposed to be a reject. He's supposed to be an outcast. Cool. But he's a different race of predator, different, I don't want to say species, but he's a different predator, smaller in stature, yada yada. This shows more of the diversity of the predator race. It shows some with dreadlocks, some without dreadlocks. It shows some with mohawk dreadlocks. It's really cool how they give the predators more identity, more identifying features than what we've seen in the movies, because all we've ever seen in the movies is the big crown, the dreadlocks, the mandibles, and the yellow beady eyes and the colorful lizard print skin. We've never seen any kind of diversity in them, whether it be no dreadlocks or, you know, different shaped skulls, different sized bodies, all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was super, super cool. And then we've got our stories, and the stories themselves are really interesting. We've got a Viking story, a Viking revenge story. Mother takes her son to war, you know, to get revenge against the Roos Viking that, you know, assassinated her father. She's been waited her whole life to get this dude. And then our second one is these two Japanese brothers. They're both, you know, the shogun's son. One of them, he makes them fight. One of them loses. He kind of rejects his heritage and he goes and becomes a ninja. And we pick up this story on the night that the ninja is going in to basically overthrow his brother, right? Really cool story. And the guy who does the voice acting for both brothers is Louis Ozawa. And that is the same guy who was our Yakuza in Predators. Really cool, man. I really dug that. He was the Yakuza enforcer guy in Predators that fought the Falconer in the tall grass, which was one of the most epic scenes in that whole movie. So I thought that was really cool. And then we have our third story, which is about a World War II pilot. And there's a Predator in the sky. He's like a fighter pilot Predator going around, you know, whacking people in the sky in the fighter planes. And that is really cool because Michael Biehn from Aliens and Terminator is one of the voice actors in this. He's like their head air pilot, or their head commander pilot. And he's in this. He's excellent. His voice acting is spot on. But all these stories culminate in a showdown at the end. It culminates in an epic story conclusion at the end, because like I said, there's always that underlying main story in any anthology film, and the main story in this is cool because not only does this main story take things from the movie Predators, it takes things and uses things from Prey. It does, you know, it ties in different you know, let's say episodes. It ties in the different sequels. It ties them in, but not in a fan service way, in a let's show people the history of the characters. Let's show people the history of these creatures. And that's how they tied it in. And that's what made it so special and so good, is because you could tell this was a labor of love. I always say that movies that are a labor of love are always the best. They're the ones that you want to watch over and over because you know people had fun making them. And this is no different. This is something you guys have got to see. If you're a fan of Predator, if you're a fan of just, you know, animated, like Clone Wars style animation or something like that, or Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, this is the style of animation they chose, and it's beautiful. It's worth your time. It's crisp. It's got an awesome story, fantastic fights and choreography. Check it out, guys. It's worth your time. It's streaming on Hulu. It's streaming on Disney Plus for all of my foreign constituents. And guys, just check it out because it is so worth it. Thanks so much for hanging out and talking with me about Killer of Killers. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. And as always, my friends, I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you. And I will see you soon.